And welcome back, everyone, to the Zanpakuto Creation Series. Today's Zanpakuto Creation Series request is actually one of my own. That's right. Back in the day, I've literally got my book here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was like, I want to say one of the very early Zanpakutos I created was for Wonder Woman, of all people, Diana Prince. And you might ask yourself, well, Diana's already got a sword. Do you just turn that into a Zanpakuto? No, that's because your Zanpakuto has to be a reflection of you on some capacity. And so Diana's sword would be predominantly a melee type. Although, looking through it now, I could see a secondary Keto/elemental aspect to it. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Her sealed form would still be Katana, no questions asked. Now, the release would be Charge into Battle. Its name is Goddess's Fury, or Megami no Ikari. Its Bankai is War Goddess Vengeance. Senjo no Megami no Fukushu. Its spear would take the form probably of an Athena-looking type woman. Athena is the goddess of the hunt. Even though she's not, I don't believe Athena is the goddess of war. In fact, is there a goddess of war? I know Ares is the god of war, and you have Zeus and Hera who are the queen and king of the gods. But Greek god, goddess of war. Greek goddess of war. I think Athena does play like a fact. Okay, yeah, Athena is also not just the goddess of the hunt, but she is a goddess of war as well. All right, it's all good then. I was right. Now, what does the Zanpakuto take the shape of? Does it stay a sword? No, I actually see it being something akin to a lance. Now, don't have anything that looks exactly like the image I sketched out here. However, something akin to this, where it's still a long-handled weapon, but the blade is longer than the weapon. Are longer than the handle. Like the handle is at least a foot long, with the blade being maybe like 2 feet long. Now, what exactly does this Zanpakuto do? Well, the initial idea was actually very simple, very easy. She literally just throws the blade like a lance or a javelin or a spear, but its velocity keeps increasing until it hits its target, which means essentially, as long as she throws it hard, it's going to hit the target almost indefinitely because of how fast it's moving. The secondary effect would have been that it just easily can be recalled and resummoned, and she can do it again. So she's actually never without her weapon. Even if an opponent were to grab her weapon, she could just call it back. So one of the very big upsides of this weapon is, even though it's technically a melee weapon and it does have range, it can attack because of range. She's never without it. She's never going to lose it despite having only a basic ability there. Add on to the fact that trajectory-wise, the minute you throw it and its velocity is increasing, it's not going to be changing where it's being pointed at. Because the velocity increases so much, it's kind of on a fixed point. And basically, it doesn't stop until it immediately hits something solid. Now, the catch-22 on that is very simple. If someone were to say block display with their sword, well, it hits something solid, and that velocity just immediately dissipates. Now, that doesn't mean the strike still wouldn't be amazing, and might hurt the opponent, but that attack is done immediately. But I think because of her nature, at least in her origin, at least in certain media connected to Zeus, I think we can add an elemental effect onto this, particularly if it hits a certain velocity, it creates maybe like static, which causes it to charge and become an electrical bolt of lightning. In essence, she hits enough velocity, it becomes a bolt of lightning. It becomes a lightning strike, which I think is a cool little addition. Now, right out the gate, though, this Shikai has a big actual weakness. In straight-out melee combat, sword to sword, hand-to-hand, close range, it's actually pretty useless. It is simply just something to be used as a sword or, a hand-to-hand weapon. Now, that's not to say you still couldn't, throw it, but, you've only got a few inches from your opponent. You're not going to be really getting any force or thrust, and you're certainly not going to be able to get a charge on that thing. Though I am considering doing a revised series of the Zanpakutos. One video today will be talking more about Bankais a little bit later, but, because, like I said, I am on vacation, so I got plenty of free time this week. So I'm doing a bunch of videos that I've had on my list that I want to do for a while. And one of them is a bleach video. But I've been thinking, let me know if you like this idea. And I think I may do one of these videos later this week about doing a revised version of the Zanpakuto series, where when I was theorizing what the Bankai and Shikai of the Zanpakuto where we don't know them are. But instead, talking about not an awakened Bankai, but a fully realized Bankai or Zanpakuto series. For example, we know for a fact that Rukia, and I'll explain this in more in depth in the video, Rukia and Zabimaru, for example, weren't fully realized Zanpakuto. We learned what Rukia's true ability with her Zanpakuto was, and she still needs to perfect that Zanpakuto. An idea, so why not include that idea for other Zanpakutos that we already know, like, say, Hisagumaru or Usagimaru or something like that. Point being, maybe if this Zanpakuto were fully realized, maybe just by swinging the blade, it could gain friction and therefore cause the electrical shock. So maybe at a fully realized level, it could do that. The Bankai is a little boring, I'm going to admit. It is simply just a storm of these blades. But it shares the Shikai ability of when they land, they just return right back to where they start, and she can just fire again, which means she can rain down a hailstorm of lightning bolts on people when they've and just continue to do it. So it's far more effective than her Shikai. She can still hold on to a blade if she really wants to, and it can just keep doing it indefinitely. Now, weaknesses of this Bankai, again, take the Ryatsu thing out of the equation. This Bankai would do jack shit against Rage and Jika because AoE effects would just completely remove these blades out of the equation. Even if they didn't destroy the blades, they'd be able to keep them at distance. Or Zanka no Tachi would just incinerate these blades upon contact. They're not going to ever reach like Yamamoto. Also, we have not seen anyone who uses rubber yet. Luffy, I haven't done Luffy yet. I just realized I have not done Luffy yet, I don't think. I don't want to give Luffy a rubber-type Zanpakuto just because of his fruit. Because the fruit is not necessarily a reflection of the person. However, if someone were to have some sort of insulation-type Zanpakuto that'd be insulated against electricity, well, then you still have the momentum of the blade going there, but that would be a weakness of this too. Plus, anything that could maybe do magnetism could throw these blades off. Anything that could theoretically just stop momentum would be another thing. Anything that manipulates gravity. But these are all niche things. There would be no clear-cut inherent weakness of this Zanpakuto. But ultimately, that's just my thought. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you like this Zanpakuto for her? Do you dislike this Zanpakuto for her? If you do, what would you do differently? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Later.